Welcome to the ServiceNow Start YouTube, go-to destination for all things ServiceNow. Whether you are a seasoned IT professional or just diving into the world of enterprise solutions, we have got you covered. From tutorials and tips to the latest updates and innovations, join us on this journey to master ServiceNow. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss.
Learn this essential every ServiceNow admin need to know. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here. I'm your host, Mohammed Kemal. I'm going to quickly jump into this an important topic. Now, ServiceNow Discovery, it is an agentless automated tool that can span your IT infrastructure. Now, it helps you detect devices in your environment, applications, and also once it detects all of that, it will go ahead and update your configuration management database, which is your CMDB, ensuring that your data, you have to use Discovery to continually audit and also verify your CMDB, your configuration management database. So it is very important to continually do that, especially after your infrastructure change. Like, for example, if you have an operating system upgrade, have you done that recently? Or if you deploy any servers and cloud migration you have done, you need to have this continuous monitoring available as a standalone subscription. It also includes an ITOM visibility suite, so you can buy it as a suite with ITOM. That's something you can talk to the ServiceNow, so that way you can buy ServiceNow Discovery just like that. And if you are implementing ServiceNow mapping, okay, you are implementing service mapping or cloud management, your ITOM visibility will give you more holistic approach that can help you start here in your long-term value. Okay, you're starting, but you're getting that long-term value. 3 types of discovery you can do, and they all refer to the same capability. This you can do them like separately. There's a horizontal, agentless, and also IP-based discovery that help you identify your CIs across your network without needing to install a software on each device. No need. Platforms are supported with the ServiceNow Discovery, so you don't need one discovery for macOS, another discovery for Windows or Azure. Yes, you got everything in one place. Not only that, the data collection is very easy. Where this OS details, operating system will have a detailed information on it, the installed software, any software that are installed on each device, and the running servers can also be identified. And not only that, if there are any hardware specification, they can also be scanned using the ServiceNow Discovery. Now, another best part with the ServiceNow Discovery is that you can schedule it. Okay, you can schedule it if you don't want like a real-time data, but you can schedule it, real-time and operational and defined schedule. You can go ahead and define it. For example, in off hours, you can go ahead and schedule it so that way you can run it that way, which means it's not real-time. You don't need to make it a real-time. You can run it on a schedule basis. For real-time monitoring, by the way, you can use an agent client collector, what you call it ACC. ACC came in ServiceNow to do a real-time collection of the CI, the ACC, Agent Client Collector. You can add that, but Discovery is not real time. Okay, it doesn't bring the data in real time. What's going to do is you can schedule this in a certain off time, then it will get the data for you. But if you want to bring in the data in real time, you can use an Agent Client Collector, ACC. We will cover this in a separate session. Discovery has 4 phases. The first one is the scan phase. This is the ping phase to detect if there is a live IP. Okay, that's the first phase. Can I check that? If there is a live IP in that ping. Second thing is we'll go ahead and classify that discovered item. Okay, identify the device type. We'll go ahead and discover and do classification on it. And then from there, we'll go ahead and do an identification, which means matching it to the CI using the identification rule. Any rule that you set it will go ahead and identify and match it with that existing flag. So that's an important part. And it comes to the fourth phase, it will go ahead and exploration, which means gathering any deep dive into the CPU, the software, and also the service that are found within each device. So I give you the pro tip. When you do this ServiceNow Discovery, this 4 phase, you have to use identification rule wisely, identification reconciliation use wisely. This is because it helps you to any overlapping rules. If you have any overlapping rules, they can create a duplicate or also a mismatch that can result you duplicate CIs or mismatched CIs that can cause pain in a long term. Discovery use probes to gather data and also sensors to process it, using a sensor to process it. That's how ServiceNow Discovery works. You got a probe, sensors, and also pattern. Now, the best practice here is that you gotta use the patterns for your complex applications like your clustered database, and patterns are available for reusable and visual workflows that make a given custom discovery scalable and also accurate. Let's talk about mid server. Mid servers are these are a middleman that's found in your environment that you build it in your environment. If you don't know how to create a mid server, here's a video that I have created previously. So these mid servers, the middleman, mainly you can most probably you can use SNMTP or SSH or WMI using secure communication. Okay, it's a very secure communication. And when you create your mid server, make sure to give it for a given user with a specific role that help the mid server to do the job only, to collect the data only. So that should run in your environment with a dedicated service account, and that service account must be the role that required to accomplish the work. How does ServiceNow mid server works? The mid server works by first, internally accessing the device in your environment using protocols like WMI or SSH or SNMTP, and then from there it will send the results securely back to your ServiceNow environment. That's how it works. Now, here are three best practices you need to implement when it comes to your ServiceNow mid server. First important thing is regular health check. So verify the status, connectivity issue. The times you may have a connectivity issue, or the user account is it active? If the user account doesn't have a role, all such kind of things must be made sure. And second, keep in mind that your mid server version aligned with your ServiceNow. Understand that's an important thing. That's how you fail after you upgrade. Okay, and also do a compatibility testing. That's very important because it helps you run tests to validate your credential. And also before you do accessful discovery admin workspace for your centralized monitoring and also management. This is your go-to place to make sure that if there are any issues in schedule-wise or monitoring health scan, or even to check your logs and SAT, all of that in one place. So make sure to use this one, the discovery admin workspace, in one place. And here also regularly review the discovery logs, look for any patterns of failure. Often, they are missing credential or closed ports or even misconfigured IP range could be found. When you do your discovery, make sure you have a target. Don't just go ahead and in one night scan every CI that you have, in every location that you have. Okay, that's not a good thing. So you have to know the scope first. Limit the scope where you're going to reach and bring those CI. Exclude any specific CI types. That's an important thing. Second is, when you capture this data, you have to get a lot of data as possible. So capture the CI, the memories, the operating systems, the softwares, IP or Mac, all the details you have to bring in. So the attributes are very important. And the completeness matter as well. Once you get discovery running in your environment, if the data is complete. Okay. If not, sometimes you might need to run another discovery to make sure the data are complete. Accurate. The accuracy, completeness is reliability of the data is very important. Avoid to run your ServiceNow Discovery in your production peak hours. Your production peak hours could be Monday through Friday, working hours 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. Make sure to avoid that time. So you gotta run it in the night or in the weekend. So that way you can avoid any problem on lagging. It can give you where these CIs are get discovered. The discovery source. Is it from your vulnerability discovery or is it coming directly from your cloud discovery? Make sure these data are also complete. For example, the support group, it may not be comes through discovery. You have to go ahead and populate those manually, and also you can populate those using different workflows. As always, when it comes to discovery, always start small and scale it up from there. Learn gradually, step by step, and scale it up. If you just start today, if you want to do full scope discovery, that's going to be a problem. So start small and grow from there. Over scanning large IP blocks during your initial setup can overwhelm your environment. So make sure to avoid that. It might create some noise as well. So make sure to avoid that. Never scan full, always, full until you are confident with the data quality and also the CMDB health. Unless you are sure, don't do a full scan of your environment. Always start with a known subnet and gradually expand that to avoid including like pro browsers or network addresses to prevent errors. You have to make sure what you're going to include and exclude. That's an important thing. You want only servers or switches. You want avoid license west. Discovery can collect your hardware specification, installed softwares, network interface data, even your cloud resources like your EC2, RDS, VM, and so on. So regularly Discovery help detect configuration drift. If you have any configuration drift or when actual infrastructure deviates from your expected baseline. When Discovery is completed, every attribute may not be populated for you. For example, assign to or support group and so on. These, you can use another transform app or internal process to go ahead and populate those values because those values are very important to make sure your CIs, your CMDBs are usable. If you find this video helpful, give it a thumb up and share it. If you haven't become the ServiceNow Star family, make sure to subscribe our YouTube channel and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, have a great day, everybody.